I mean, just going up my frame, that frame is just much bigger than mine, and they taller, so. But they know who the top guy is, all of them. When I won my world title, I think I fought like 3 undefeated guys right back to back, you know, so they don't talk about that.
30 seconds. Hold it strong.
Breaking news coming straight out of Las Vegas. Gervonta "Tank" Davis has just sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Leaked footage from his private training camp has surfaced online, and one thing is crystal clear. Tank isn't here to play games. Every punch, every move, every second of that clip screams focus and destruction. If this is just a glimpse of what's coming, the boxing world better be ready.
It's all hypothetical. If in a fight, he's pushed to that level, he can do it.
But here's your rewritten one-paragraph English version, smooth, powerful, and perfect for video narration. The leaked clip shows Gervonta "Tank" Davis in an intense sparring session, and fans are already calling this the most dangerous version of him we've seen in years. No drama, no distractions, just pure focus. Tank looks sharper, faster, and more determined than ever. Training like his entire legacy depends on this upcoming fight with Jake Paul. You can see it in his movement, his power, his mindset. This is a man on a mission.
Good man, this is definitely the toughest test. I think there's like a lot of things out there about the size and all this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter, and he's got power in both hands, and skill-wise and technique-wise, he's been doing this for.
This isn't your typical public workout clip. It's raw, unfiltered, and absolutely ruthless. From what we've seen, Gervonta "Tank" Davis looks like a man on a mission to silence every critic once and for all. Every punch, every movement carries bad intentions, and the message is loud and clear. He's coming for Jake Paul. After months of Jake talking nonstop since the fight was announced, Tank's letting his fists do the talking, and they're speaking louder than ever.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
is there a height limit in boxing?
So let's break down what was actually in this leaked video. The footage, just under a minute long, shows Gervonta "Tank" Davis sparring against a much taller opponent, easily 6 feet 1 inch, maybe even 6 feet 2 inches, wearing heavier gloves. But despite the size difference, Tank was electric. His movement was fast, fluid, and razor-sharp. It's the same vintage Gervonta we remember from his prime years under Mayweather Promotions. Only now, he looks stronger, smarter, and more disciplined than ever before. Every step, every counter, every punch screamed precision and confidence. The video opens with Tank slipping a jab, stepping inside, and ripping a vicious left hook to the body. In one fluid motion, he follows up with a lightning-fast right uppercut that snaps his opponent's head straight back. It's short, explosive, and brutal, the kind of clip that sends a message without a single word. Gervonta "Tank" Davis means business. Watching him move like that, you can't help but think this is a different level of focus, a different kind of danger.
Looking at him like, Tank, you remember getting in the ring with guys that are smaller than you, guys that are younger than you, guys that you may be rooting for and hoping that they do their best. I sparred with Tank, I think, the week before I fought Terrence Crawford, and no excuses, but like I said, hey, I was going through my own and you had to be there to understand what I mean by that. If you weren't there, hey, it is what it is. Things that happen in camp stays in camp, you know. But at the same time, when I got in the ring with the kid, I'm like, I want to see what this kid got. I want to see who he is, you know. And he's firing on all cylinders, you know what I mean? I saw exactly what I thought I would see. A tremendous boxer who can punch, who loves the game, who ain't afraid to get hit, who ain't afraid to get gritty, and the list goes on.
Sources close to the camp reveal that Gervonta "Tank" Davis has been training at a private facility just outside Las Vegas, far from the noise, the distractions, and most importantly, far from Floyd Mayweather's circle. This time it's all Tank, his camp, his rules, his people. Every move is designed around his vision, his pace, his hunger to prove that he doesn't need anyone's shadow to shine. This is Gervonta Davis taking full control of his destiny.
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of that what he just said. You can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it. You know. So
he's now training under Derek James, the same world-class coach who's worked with Anthony Joshua, and that's a game changer. Derek is known for molding fighters built on precision, discipline, and controlled aggression, exactly what you can see in this leaked footage. Tank isn't just preparing to knock Jake Paul out, he's preparing to make a statement. A statement to everyone who's been saying he's lost a step or isn't the same fighter anymore. Jake might have the size advantage, but Tank's skill, experience, and ring IQ are on a completely different level.
Jake is big, Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, Lamont Rhodes performed great. They went to draw, and, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to be the guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
Now, let's talk about the biggest question everyone's asking, the weight difference. Jake Paul is naturally the bigger man, walking around at about 190 pounds, while Gervonta "Tank" Davis usually fights at 135. That's a massive gap, and it's what makes this matchup so intriguing. On paper, Jake has the size and power advantage, but Tank's speed, timing, and precision have made him one of the most dangerous fighters pound for pound. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. They didn't just sign a fight, they signed a storm.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. They just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in for that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over.
And that's exactly why this fight has become one of the most talked about matchups in boxing right now. It's not just a clash of skill, it's a clash of size, power, and mindset. Jake Paul versus Gervonta "Tank" Davis isn't just another celebrity crossover. It's a high-stakes showdown between a YouTuber-turned-contender and one of boxing's most explosive talents. They didn't just sign a fight, they signed a statement to the entire boxing world.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. They just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in for that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over.
Tank knows exactly what he's up against, and you can see it in the way he's training. The leaked footage shows him sparring with bigger, heavier partners, guys who look like they belong in the cruiserweight division. He's not just preparing for Jake Paul's power, he's conditioning his body to absorb it, counter it, and break it down. The focus, the pace, the intensity, everything about this camp screams that Gervonta "Tank" Davis is ready to prove that skill, precision, and heart can conquer size any day.
But the fact that Gervonta, I believe he spars people that are much heavier than him. And what do you got? I would have to bet on Gervonta. Okay.
He's forcing himself to adapt to bigger frames, longer reach, and heavier punches. It's like he's training his body and mind to walk through fire just to get inside and land his shots. Every round, every session is designed to push his limits, to make sure nothing Jake Paul throws will surprise him. And if you're a true boxing fan, you can tell this isn't just training, it's transformation.
I don't know, but Tank should be the most Tank
they're the same weight.
Yeah, they
at the
same
time.
weight.
Well, it's maybe a little bit different after they rehydrated, but they weighed in at the same weight. There's a 30-pound difference between Gervonta and Jake Paul. Jake Paul had to lose like 30 pounds to get down to like 195. And Gervonta, I think, was like 160.
Gervonta all the way up to 160.
Hold on. Gervonta.
160.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. No. 133.8.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, see, 133.
It's a 60-pound weight difference.
Yes.
60 pounds.
Yes. Yeah, but ain't extra weight on that chin.
That chin is all bone.
That chin ain't all bone. Ain't no meat on that chin.
No meat on that chin.
Ain't no meat on that chin. You know, big dudes get knocked out real quick. I done had a few.
Yeah.
Ain't no chin. Oh yeah. You just can't. First of all, you can't let them hit you. That's first of all. And once they swing, they momentum come and then you catch them. And if you could turn it right there and catch them right there,
Yeah.
they fall real hard.
You gotta get it close.
Because they never been, they don't, I don't know about Jake, but big dudes never fight. Usually they intimidate, and then they can't last. They stab on 30 seconds.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jake's lost before to Tommy Fury, but he's never fought a world-class boxer before. In his prime, championship level, like a Gervonta, but there's a 60-pound weight difference. I think Gervonta will win too, but I don't know. It's kind of like a clown show at this point. You know, it's like a circus. It's like, let's put a bear with a human and see what happens. Give someone a stick, like Thunderdome or something.
They're making a mockery of it. That's true. It's true. Curlers.
No, it's not real boxing anymore. These are all exhibition matches. It's not affecting anyone's record.
If you want to beat Jake Paul, you have to respect his power. He hits harder than most expect. He may not have the resume of a world champion, but his knockout history says everything. Ask Tyron Woodley, Nate Robinson, or Anderson Silva. When Jake lands clean, guys go down. That's why opponents must combine discipline, timing, and supreme ring IQ to survive his shots and turn his aggression against him. Raw skill alone won't cut it. You need a game plan, constant movement, and the courage to get inside when the moment's right.
I want professional boxers. It's only been 3.5 years. You can only make a certain amount of fights happen. And the plan was always to fight Nate Diaz after Tommy Fury, win, lose, or draw. People think there's like this ducking of professional boxers. The next fight could potentially be a professional boxer. I'm just getting started. I'm 26 years old, and there's only so much I can do.
But here's the difference. Tank has fought real fighters, real champions, and he's knocked out nearly every one of them. Jake Paul might have the edge in size, but when it comes to speed, timing, and explosiveness, that's all Tank. Skill for skill, experience for experience. None of Jake's previous opponents even come close to what Gervonta Davis brings to the table. This isn't a YouTuber fight anymore. This is a world-class boxer stepping in to remind everyone why he's one of the most dangerous men in the sport.
Skill for skill, none of these guys can mess with me. Nobody. I feel like my skills are way better than like Floyd. Like if I'm on my game. Well, I take that back. Right.
The moment the video leaked, social media absolutely exploded. Within minutes, clips were everywhere, on X, TikTok, and Instagram, flooded with captions like, "Tank looks terrifying," and *, "Jake Paul is done." * fans couldn't stop replaying the footage, analyzing every punch, every movement. The internet hasn't seen this kind of buzz in months, and if that face-off tells us anything, it's that the tension between these two is about to hit a boiling point.
Look at this face. What are your thoughts?
You're hearing that shit from me, that's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like it. He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put their hands on him, but I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention to boxing. Tank Davis guaranteed $40 million.
If you were in that position, would you fight Jake Paul?
Oh, hell yeah. You got to give Jake Paul his flowers. Mike Tyson, Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz.
Jake Paul is a disruptor, and he's done a phenomenal job. You get big and famous enough to where they will just hand you the
the title shot and completely throw out the ranking system.
If Jake Paul was to do that, I think that'd be the greatest sports accomplishment in history. Going from a Disney Channel kid to a YouTuber to becoming a world.
Behind the scenes, insiders say this camp feels completely different. It's quieter, more focused, no entourages, no noise, no drama. Just Tank, his trainers, his sparring partners, and pure, relentless grind. Every day is about discipline, every session about purpose. It's the calm before a very big storm, the kind of energy that tells you Gervonta Tank Davis is preparing for the biggest moment of his career.